1 in 5 Australians suffer from mental health issues. Each year there are around 3,000 Australian deaths by suicide. Someone you know might need you to just reach out and ask, is everything okay? Someone you know.
Hey, bud.
Just ring to see how you're going. I thought you were calling around for a cuppa.
Give us a call back, mate. Starting to get a bit worried about you, eh? All right, mate. Talk to you then.
As I put the kettle on, I think of what I'll say. Many years have passed between what we call the good old days. We were two boys in school, you couldn't tear us apart. Skipping class and being fools, all the good times that we had. I hope I get to hear from you before our story folds. I hope I get to spend some time before we both grow old and the coffee goes cold. The coffee goes cold before the coffee goes cold. Rain rolls down an old stained glass, like the memories that we had. I roll myself a cigarette and I wait for you. My doorbell never rang, so I poured myself a cup. The kettle boiled 1,000 times, we didn't get that chat. I hope I get to hear from you before our story folds. I hope I get to spend some time before we both grow old and the coffee goes cold. Yeah, the coffee goes cold before the coffee goes cold. Buried my old friend today, I didn't get to say goodbye. Didn't get no time to share the coffee, but we did try. The only time I spend with you is beside your gravestone, and I feel so sad. The coffee's gone cold. The coffee's gone cold. The coffee's gone cold. The coffee's gone cold.
G'day folks and welcome to another edition of Coffee and Conversations.
On the 10th of October is National Mental Health Day. Today there is a lot going on around Australia with walks, talks and all of that sort of stuff, creating awareness and the conversation about mental health, which is fantastic. Normally, me and the family would be down in Brisbane doing the big walk for awareness, walk for mental health. But this year we had to film this morning to finish off the video clip that I'm shooting all about mental health. The single that's out at the moment called Above the Blue, which I've got a massive big thank you to all the radio stations that are getting behind it and sharing that message and story, which I'm really excited about taking it to the next level with shooting the video clip. It really sort of digs deep behind mental health in the younger generation, which is something that we need to really take note of, I suppose. COVID's sort of at the forefront with what we're experiencing on the news and getting vaccinated and all this stuff that's being pushed at us at the moment through the media. I think mental health is sort of taking a back seat in the journey at the moment, which I think needs to start becoming a front seat discussion because what I read was 86% of most ER intakes is mental health related, which is pretty scary when you look at the statistics of the nation, 86%. So it's pretty scary. But welcome. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today on this beautiful Sunday. Everyone in New South Wales and across Australia, all the time differences. Again, we've got the very talented and good-looking red-bearded drummer from Sydney joining us, my co-host. But before we get him on, I just got to say both myself and Billy, as hosts of Coffee and Conversation, do so as supporters of mental health. We're not trained in mental health or paid counsellors. If you do need help or feel that you know someone that needs help, please contact Lifeline at 13 11 14. I just got to let people know that we do this because we want to get the message out and get the conversation started about mental health. And this is a great spot for it. We got some great reviews on last month's show. It was fantastic to talk to Billy and what was going on down in New South Wales, and just in general, just talk about how we're getting through this, and you know, talking to people down that way. There's people that haven't worked since June. Shops haven't been open, hairdressers, and all those small businesses that I don't know how they're going to bounce back from this, and we've got to be really thoughtful about it. And so, you know, we're thinking of you. I know it was especially hard for our good mate Billy while me and Will were up in Savannah, up in Cairns or Mareeba doing the Savannah Festival. And I think Billy rang him or FaceTimed him. Will FaceTimed Billy on the Saturday while we're swimming in a pool up there and just rubbing salt in the wound, I think. But we did miss him very much. So tonight's show, well, let's bring the big fella in. Love seeing his face. Bill Starr.
Hey, how are we?
Yeah, good, brother. Good, brother. Let's make sure that everyone, please, before we sort of crack in, get on your Facebook pages, share the show. Right now, just go to the live feed where we are. Press share it with your friends. Let's get as many people on. Come on and comment on the post. We get to see most of them here. We get to see most of them across the board if I can manage myself in doing that. How you going, Billy?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, and talk about rubbing salt into the wound. I really missed being up there in Cairns with you and Will, and looked like you guys did great, and lots of good reports coming back that the band was just going off. But it looks like good fun.
It is a positive thing for us, mate, to see live music in festivals like that. Savannah was the only festival in Australia happening, which I sort of went, no, it's not. Right, that weekend alone in Queensland, there was the Lights on the Hill Trucking Memorial Concert happening on the Friday, Saturday night. You had Country at the Creek up in Toowoomba that was happening on the Saturday. You had the Caloundra Music Festival happening in Caloundra, and then you had Savannah Festival happening up in Mareeba. It's just exploded up here, which I know
Yeah.
is going to happen for you guys in New South Wales. What's the vibe down there? Are you guys getting excited for Freedom Day tomorrow, mate?
I think, well, yeah, Freedom Day, yeah. I think everyone's, yeah, there's definitely a buzz. We're at my office where I work. There's a salon directly below us, and Lauren down there, I haven't seen her for months, and I saw her, loading products and stuff back into a salon. So, and yeah, she had it's a good vibe. That Sydney's buzzing and excited to open up and like live music. Bookings are starting to come in. I think it's really going to get busy for music real quick. I hope, and let's hope we don't end up back in another lockdown. But that's just onwards and upwards. I even got booked for a New Year's Eve gig, so
nice work. Well,
that's exciting,
mate. And so, like come November, I'm booked up at Early Beach Music Festival, which was something pretty much going to be a highlight for you because you've got some very close friends based in Early Beach. How's it looking? Do you think, is it going to be possible for you being vaccinated and all of that stuff of getting across the borders, or are we too soon?
Well, I think it's really, you get on there and you start researching, and it's all about it's hard to find some good ground information. So I think come tomorrow, once everything's lifted, then we'll see some good infrastructure around what you can and can't do. Apparently, there's loopholes about you can travel to Queensland because you're an essential worker if you're a musician, double vaccinated and all that kind of thing. So, but apparently that's a loophole. It's not a thing. So I think come tomorrow, once Early Beach, I'm both our good friend Andy Mabbers is up there, and he's pumped to have us up there, and Trevor Green and Mikey Duff and all the boys up there. I'm really excited to get up there, but I don't want to get too excited.
Well, I'm super excited because it's not just early beach that we're looking at. We've got the following weekend, which I can't announce. I can't actually announce what it is, but everyone can work out what it's going to be. And it's another major festival. Super excited, and look, it would be just great for you to come up. And if you've got to stay the week, we'll put you up for the week and have you. I know that's not going to work for work.
I wish.
We can. I can only hope but it is pretty exciting. And all I want to wish for you guys is that you start getting in some, all my musician friends and music industry people just getting back to a routine again of sharing what we're good at with the people that love hearing it. And I found that up in all of the festivals I've done so far. The reason we got this show happening again was the amount of people wanting the conversation to start around mental health, and music is going to be that defining sort of connection between people in the crowd and us sharing that mental health and that relief. And I'm really excited about it because we really need to focus on mental health, I think, now over the next few months going into Christmas, because there's a lot of people being affected by it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
And how's the family?
Yeah, they're good, mate. They were supposed to be asleep for their afternoon nap, but they're not. So I had to leave Stacey with it. But it's good. Yeah, they're great, mate. Yeah.
Well, we won't keep you too long, mate. So today's show, sorry, not tonight's show, but today's show, we're gonna feature PTSD, which is something that is it's massive across Australia with our Defence Force, our serving members and ex-serving members, our first responders. Like we forget that the police and ambulance and fireys and our nurses and doctors and all these people that are affected in some way with the disorder is basically it's experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. And it doesn't mean you have to be a first responder or an ex-service member. You can be a normal civilian and have a car accident that triggers that in your life. And what we want to do today is we want to talk about it, maybe create some awareness so people are a little bit more aware about PTSD and and being married to a policewoman. Is it something that you've got to consistently talk with Stace about things at work, or does she talk about it?
There are. I don't pry information out of it, but if there's an event that's happened at work that, there have been some events that she's witnessed and that has affected her, but she's a tough girl. But whether she's a tough girl or not, it's still very important to talk about it, whether it's with me or with fellow colleagues, but the support system within the police is very good. They are, one of those things maybe in the 80s or 70s and 80s and stuff, it wasn't such a thing, but now it was a thing back then, but it wasn't, if you, I don't know, it's definitely changed.
I get what you're saying. Like the 80s,
the support's there now.
It is, and I think we're more aware, and I think those infrastructures from the police and the fireys and the defence force are more aware of what their members are going through each day.
That's right.
A simple arrest that goes a little bit violent to then a possible car accident that involves a family. I had a really good chat with Kevin Sullivan, Kevin, we stayed at his house. Yeah. He's an ex-detective and forensic officer, and he's dealing with it every day. And we'll get him on the show maybe later down the track. But just hearing his stories and whatever. But today I thought we'll do something different, and we'll talk to two young brother and sister that are living with their stepfather who is dealing with PTSD. He's an ex-veteran. I had the honour of getting them involved in the latest video clip because of this reason. But I knew nothing about PTSD, really. You hear about it on the news or you see it on social media until you actually sit down with people and really get the behind stories. It's it's a long and hard journey for most families and people around them. As to why I asked you about Stace, it's you look at Stace, it's like us all. We've got that facade outside that's happy and
absolutely,
life is grand, but inside it's like a duck's legs underwater. It's just going crazy. But so pretty much we'll get the guys on in a minute and we'll have a chat to them and and folks, please share some messages and stuff like that on Facebook. Let's do the rounds. We've got Christy. Hello, Christy. Hey, Keith and Marlene. Hey, Darren. We've got my mum. Hey, mum. Cecilia from Tamworth. How you going? You got anyone on yours, mate? Kerry Ann Helen. She's saying good day.
Where is it? Sorry, I'm having issues. There it is.
That's not the first time, brother. We might just cut to a bit of a commercial.
Cool.
Sometimes life can get you down. Feels like nobody's around. It's amazing what you find. Well, open your heart, but don't lock it up inside. When it's dark, you gotta head towards the light. 'Cause you gotta live, laugh, get yourself above the blue, be proud, be right, sharing every moment inside. But remember, let it go. Spread your wings and let it flow. You're gonna fly.
Mate, got to thank our sponsors. This whole show is all about creating conversation, and please jump on and let us know what you're thinking. Adam Dirksen, hello, Adam. Sean from Brizzy, thanks for joining us, mate. So I think I've got a little bit of a video here I want to sort of just pop up, and it's just sort of explains what PTSD is, mate. Just let's have a look at this. So that's just to give you a bit of an insight on what PTSD is. Everyone deals with it differently, and as I've spoke to Brooke, which is the kid's mum, it's all about education within the group, within the family. So today we've got Kaleb, who is a 19-year-old multi-instrumentalist and guitar and director of the band Beyond Sippy Creek, and his sister Emily, who is a 16-year-old, I'm going to get this right, let me scroll, 16-year-old bass player. She's in year 11 and TAFE student in law and criminology.
Wow.
So, handy one to know down the line, mate. But maybe probably 10, 15 years ago I needed someone like that. So I think, mate, let's have a look at what they do every week. This is their relief. This is them doing a song that they've written called Freight Train.
Don't you understand? She's got the power, this working man. I'm trucking hard as trucking can. Come on, straight line, don't you understand? There's a woman waiting patiently in her sweet arms where I really won't be. Get on it, red line. Get on it, red line. Thank you, man.
G'day, lads. How are you?
Good. How you
So,
going?
Billy,
Yeah, we're
meet
good, mate.
Kaleb,
We're good.
Kaleb and Emily. Emily is on the left-hand side.
Hello.
How you going, guys?
Yeah, we're good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate.
That's the go. That's the go.
Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. I know we've sat down and we've spoke about this PTSD that you guys are living with and still currently living with. It's not something that just is fixed and then goes away. Is that pretty much right?
Yeah. Well, you're not just going to wake up one morning and not have it. It's one of those things that's, it's a package deal. You've got it for a while and you can't ever get rid of it. You just got to learn to live with it and just kind of educate yourself on it and learn what triggers PTSD and what doesn't trigger it and try and avoid those triggers.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's start with you, Kaleb.
Yeah.
Being the eldest, being a male in the family, you and your stepdad. So it's your stepdad that's dealing with PTSD. He's a veteran. What is it? What was the moment that you guys realised that Adam, you started to realise Adam was suffering with PTSD?
Well, it was around the time when he got laid off from his job. It was one of those things where, he'd always worked when he left the army, so his mind was always kept going on and just kept rolling and ticking over. And then when it stopped focusing on work, it started to drift back to those times when he was in the army and, started to bring up those emotions.
And was it something that you guys prior to that? Was it he? Did he recognise it, or did you guys recognise it, or was it something that you guys had to go and educate yourself on what symptoms are there, you know, and what triggers it and all that sort of stuff? Because for me, living in a family that doesn't have it, how do I recognise maybe, you know, Nellie's suffering from it, or I might be suffering from it from something that's happened in my past? What was it that made you, Kaleb, realise there was something going on between you and your stepdad?
I'm not really sure. We just kind of educated ourselves on it, and then it was pretty much trial and error. If something triggered him and kind of hit that switch, we avoided doing that, and then, you know, tried to move on from it and not really dwell too much on it, and just move past it and get on with what we were doing, essentially.
You got anything, Bill?
Yeah, so I guess would you reckon it would have been maybe the stress of losing his job, or that may, like you said, he's at work, not thinking about it, loses his job, thinks, oh, hang on, and then you've got time to think. And I guess you know, night times might be the worst, or was that kind of the thing?
Yeah, I mean, losing his job was pretty heavy on us, and that is kind of when it first started to kick in. Once he wasn't working, once his mind wasn't ticking over, so we just had to find things to keep his mind ticking over, whether it be you know, fixing up me trailer for me tinny, or servicing the car, or something like that, just to keep him tinkering around the house. And
that's right. Good on.
And so, Kaleb, yourself, you're dealing with your own inflictions. Tell us a little bit about what you have to deal with day to day since COVID and all that stuff, because it all mounts up in a household that's dealing with a lot of mental health issues. It's not just one person. There's a collective of a family that are all individually dealing with their own things. What are you facing every day, mate?
Not as much these days, but especially when COVID first kicked in. I was fresh out of high school, just come back from the Tamworth Country Music Festival, and I was on a high, and then COVID kicked in, and then essentially I went from standing on top of the world to feeling like I've just fallen in this hole and I couldn't get out of it. But now, you know, with the help of my bandmates and my family, and just everyone around me being legends, I've come out of the hole and learnt that, you know, there's a lot of good things out there in this world to look forward to.
Sure.
That is, you're right, Billy, you go.
No, I was just going to say it. So, I kind of can relate to that whole coming back from Tamworth thing. I mean, I came back from Tamworth with a baby boy. So my wife gave birth to my son during Tamworth Country Music Festival, and we came back, and I can relate to that. But like you said, having your bandmates and your sister, I mean, you talk through it, and you soon realise you're not on your own. Like everyone's kind of in the same boat in some way or another. So it's great that you guys have each other as well. Like, that's just amazing. Keep that bond, and always talk. If there's something, just chat it out.
Exactly. Always reach out if you are struggling, and don't be afraid to speak up and actually say that there's something wrong, because that was one of the biggest things that I had to do, was realise that there was something wrong, and finally go and see someone and talk to a counsellor about it. And now I'm, you know, feeling the best I've ever felt in my life.
Good on you.
Open Arms was who you reached out to. They are a veterans and family counselling organisation, which are for veterans, past and present. So if you've served and you're at home and you're feeling like myself, I got out in 94. I still now can go to them, and or my family can go to them. So don't feel that you can't reach out to these organisations. How were they? What was it like to reach out to them, and what was the reaction? Was it an easy process?
Well, it was very confronting, because I was always kind of the guy that I was like, well, I've got nothing wrong, you know, I feel all right. And then, you know, when I actually didn't feel okay and confronted it, it was really hard to deal with. But they were great about it all. They hooked me up with a local shrink, and we got on really well. And then I saw him about once a week for about 3 months. And then since then, it's kind of been like once a month check-in. But Open Arms are just incredible. Like, they'll check up on you once every 6 months just to see how you're going and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, they're astonishing.
Awesome, mate. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, and I hope we get to cover a lot of the subjects that we need to cover, because the biggest thing about this show is reaching out or getting that message across to people that aren't really familiar with what's going on, especially with the young generation. We really need to focus on the generation that is being very has been locked up, that are very social. Like your age group are very social age groups.
Yeah.
That are used to going out and nightclubbing and partying and live music and doing all that stuff, and all of a sudden that's been just taken away, especially in Sydney and Victoria. Victoria is the most locked down city in the world. It's broke all the records, and I couldn't imagine what people your age group are doing. And when they try to do it, they're getting fined $5,000. They're, you know, it's hard to comply. I know if I was 19, the Col Finley that was 19 now, I'd be in jail, because there's no way I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was in the Air Force, so I would have been in big trouble. But thanks for sharing that. If there's anything we need to touch on, please just jump in and let us know, because you're educating us as well. Brings us to Emily.
Hello.
Sitting there nice and quiet. Em, from your perspective, being younger, so your stepdad's PTSD was recognised. You're dealing with you're a young girl at school, educating, dealing with whatever is thrown at you in social media and all that stuff. How was it for you in the transition of when your stepdad was diagnosed, and then you had to go through the motions of dealing with it and I suppose evolving to where you are now?
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hard, pretty challenging, but the best thing that I could have done was, again, educate myself on it, and to not understand completely, but just be able to respect it and just try and at least be on the same level of understanding that the whole family could have been on. So I educated myself straight away. We had very open discussions with the family of just certain triggers and certain things that we can all do to just move forward and grow with it, and to just learn how to live a normal life with it.
Bill, you got something?
So during, I guess, like being at school, it's hard for me to imagine what it'd be like at school now. I finished in 2005, but and I was just like, phones for teenagers and stuff were just kind of floating around. But now it's like everyone rocks up to school with a phone, iPads, laptops are like compulsory. Like no one had a laptop at school. I feel really old. But how
do you reckon I feel?
You're a fossil, mate, but that's all right. No. So, like, how is that at school? There's all this technology around, but it seems it's still really unspoken. Like, and the support is kind of not there, but there. Mm-hmm. Unless you really ask for it, no one really, no one comes to you guys if you're suffering with it. You have to. It's hard. Like, how do we break that barrier of like, I guess, like you said, education. If people are educated up on the situation, then they can kind of maybe ask that question.
Sorry, mate, we lost you then. It's something happened.
I was just saying, like, it's with all this technology, it's hard for I guess if people are educated with the signs, then they can come to you. But until they know, you can look like the happiest person on social media, but maybe you're not. Like, is it like with technology? How do we break that barrier of, I don't know, is there something you could suggest, or is there an idea that is there? I don't know. Like, we've got that "Are You Okay" day, like something more than that. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I just honestly, I'm very like raw, and just what you see is what you get on Instagram and everything. For me, I'm very open about who I am and what I'm dealing with and coping with.
Yeah.
And I think the whole band really is on social media and stuff. We make sure to be, because we want to raise that awareness that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to reach out and to not have, not to always have good days and have bad days. It's okay. So just promoting the Are You Okay days and just mental health days like this, just making sure that constantly reaching out and just having that support offered there for people.
Yeah, cool.
So we've got a few messages here. Dave O'Payne from down in Victoria, good friend of mine, who just raised a ton of money for mullets for mental health. Thanks for joining us, Dave from Victoria. He said people don't fake depression or mental illness; they fake being okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emily, what's your view on that?
I think that's totally true. You sort of put on this fake personality and fake person who you are to cover up what you're dealing with, so you can avoid it for as long as possible until it catches up with you and it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with, I've got a 13-year-old, as you know, Levi and Diesel, and they're growing up in school and they're getting picked on. As a parent, what was it that your mum picked up on for you, Emily, that made her realise that, hang on, we've got to talk. We've got to, because you're dealing with stuff yourself as well. Yeah, not just with the family. You individually, you're dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
How did your mum pick up that she needed to sit down and talk with you?
It was the isolation from everyone. My room became my safe bubble, and it was the only place where I was. If I wasn't at school, I was in my room on my laying in my bed. It was constantly dark, and it was just that. And then so isolation from people, just like eating patterns, even it could just be that, or sleep patterns. But then it started to affect my schooling, which I wasn't going to school. If I did go to school, I wasn't paying attention, and my grades dropped dramatically.
So good on mum, really.
Yeah.
She's picked up. She's an absolute trooper. And the biggest thing, I know your mum's not on camera, but I know she's there because for some reason I know that background. But your mum would be dealing with her own things as well, and she's got to be this blanket of comfort and reassuring and that whole thing. How's your mum going?
She's good.
She's doing good, I think, from what I can tell. She's just giving us the big old thumbs up and the old guns in the air, so she's doing well.
No, she's amazing. She's just incredible with all this stuff.
Because you do need to keep an eye on that, I know that, knowing your mum. I know sitting down and having a conversation with your mum before we just to make sure it's okay for us to talk with you guys about this, that she is this, the protective swan that got her, wings wrapped around you. And, that's got to she's taking the hits left, right and center. So is there something that you do to make sure that she's talking about things and she's communicating and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, most afternoons I usually sit down and have a beer with mum and dad and just ask them how their day was. I'll come home from work and be like, how yous going? How's your day? What happened? And a new thing that we've been doing lately is we'll sit at the dinner table and we'll ask what the best part of your day was, what you thought was your high point. And, sometimes they'll say, well, I didn't really have one, but, I had a bit of a shit day. And you go, okay, but why did you have a shit day? And then you get into it and you just talk about it, really. And that's the best thing you can do. Talk about it.
Check in with each other.
Yeah.
You got something, Bill?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that. I think the family dinner is so important. I know you are a massive advocate for it, Cole. you sit down with your family every night. And some families they'll get their dinner. One will go to the bedroom, one will go to the lounge and watch footy. The other one will be in the dining room because they don't want to watch the footy. But myself and Stacey, our kids are young, but we are trying to just stick to that. Whether my daughter doesn't want to eat a dinner, she still sits there with us and we talk about our days, and it's so important, I think, to do that because it's like a release of your day. Could have been good, could have been bad, and your bad day could get pepped up by the other person's good day, or talk about and I think that's a really cool thing to have implemented within the house. It's great.
Yeah.
So we've got a few more people saying good day. Beth Brown from Canberra, who is still in lockdown down in Canberra. Sam Burgess from Gympie Way. Thanks, Sammy. My nephew Michael, he suffers PTSD, and I was mentioning before he wanted to watch the show so he can get an idea of what signs he could look for in his kids. What are some of the signs that people show? Like, what was something that your stepdad? What were the signs that he was showing?
The signs that he was showing, or that we were sort of showing.
Well, on both sides. So let's talk about your stepdad and what you guys picked up on him, and then let's talk about what they picked. Your parents picked up on you guys.
Yeah. So what we picked up on Dad was he started drinking a lot more, and he thought that was his coping mechanism. Sleeping patterns were off. He wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating, all that sort of stuff.
He wouldn't leave. He would go days and days without leaving the house and stuff like that.
I think at one point it was a week before he left the house and actually went out somewhere.
He would avoid people and busy places as much as he could.
And then with us, I guess it was the whole avoidance thing, trying to just stay away from it, whether it be staying in our rooms or, if I had a band rehearsal after school or something like that, it was, staying a bit back after and then going home and all that sort of stuff. So it was
just keeping ourselves busy out of the house or in our rooms as much as we could, because at that point we didn't know how to deal with it or cope with it, because he didn't know how to deal with it or cope with it yet. So we were all just sort of this one big family of just, I don't know. So it was hard.
And that's when we first started to educate ourselves on it. And Mum was a big one for us, and she'd look something up and send it to us and be like, well, this behaviour happens because of this and all that sort of stuff, and fully, just educated ourselves on it all so we can know how to step around it and, sometimes how to challenge it, but not too much.
Cool. We're just going to take a quick break and share our beautiful sponsors who look after my hair, my clothing, and our publicity, and who trimmed Billy's beard. All right. So your mum sent me through a thing, and I'm going to read out a few things that it was like a list of stuff that I'm not too sure if it was us that we have to watch out for or what you guys are watching out, but everyone has their own mental health issues. So it's an important thing to educate, talk, and ask for respect that day that you aren't well. Is that something that you guys live by every day?
Yes.
Yeah, essentially, yep.
So when you say, when your mum was saying you got to talk and ask for respect, say I'm a guy in a shopping line and I'm agitated and you know, the line's not moving fast enough. You don't know me, and you can see that I'm agitated. What is your reaction? Do you step back, give me space, or do you actually try and reach out and go, "You're okay, mate"? Is that something we should be doing in society at the moment, or are we too scared that he's going to turn around and stab you in the eye with a frozen icicle or something? I don't know.
Well, I know from like personal experiences, if someone can pick up on you that you're having a bit of a shit day and you're getting agitated, sometimes the last thing that I'd want is someone to ask, "Hey man, what's wrong? What's up? You know, are you okay? What's wrong?" Or, you know, if it was just some stranger. And I think society should probably do that. Start asking, you know, like, "Hey, are you okay?" If it's just some stranger, you know, and you can tell they're having a shit day. But, you know, like if I didn't know you and you were standing in line getting a bit agitated, I'd step forward and go, "Hey mate, what's up? Are you all right?"
Yeah, we should actually have a song that, you know, that should become a national sort of thing. You know, "Are you God friend in me?" You know what I mean? Something that you're standing in line and you don't have to touch anyone. You just start going, "You God friend in me," and just they automatically go, "I know that song." You know what I mean? And it just takes them out of that space. Little things like that, I think, should become a national sort of educational tool. That don't reach out or touch somebody, but just start singing a happy song. You know what I mean? Don't worry, be happy, but don't be sarcastic about it, sort of thing. Another point was to have compassion. I think we're losing compassion in society. I think social media and the distance that has drawn us apart because of social media, we're starting to lose compassion. So we forget about when we're at the lights and someone beeps their horn because you're a second behind the green light turning. And I know I've been in a zone when I've zoned out and I'm not in a good day that I've actually gone, "Holy crap," and missed a whole round of lights. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't know that because the person behind me had some sort of idea that was something not right and had compassion. 4 cars behind him, but was and couldn't push their horn hard enough. But, you know, we have these moments. Compassion. How would you perceive doing that in the same scenario in a shopping line? How do you have compassion when you're in a hurry to get through the line?
Yeah. You want to take this one, Red?
Well, I know if someone's behind me and they're like, not, you can easily see they're irritated by the line. I usually step aside and go, "Hey, look, you go in front of me." And they usually thank you, and you can see relief on their face. But if I'm irritated in the line, it's a
different story then.
No, I keep my cool, and I know
compassion's out the window.
Oh yeah.
No, I keep my cool, and I sort of just realize that it's not anyone else's fault around me that I'm having a bad day.
You should see it at the Macca's drive-through when they're taking too long.
Well, you've got a video of that for YouTube, mate. That's showing compassion. All right. Well, I think it is something that we really need to realise, that we need to step away from our computers and being educators with a keypad, and be more compassionate and be, you know, socially acceptable of people's good or bad days. I think we need to learn to hug again. We need to love again. You know, we need to stop
at 1.5 meters, please.
We have created a divide with the vaxxers and anti-vaxxers and the anti-mask wearers and stuff like that. Realistically, and on this show, we aren't either of those. We are very much in the middle and support both sides of it. And we respect everyone's decisions on choosing to do what they need to do themselves, if it be for religion, health, or physical, mental reasons that they choose to do whatever they do. We support that. And I think we need to all start thinking that way and just go, you know what? I don't care if you're not vaxxed. Yeah. I'll still hug you at 1.5 meters. I still respect you, and you're still welcome into my circle. And I don't think we should be calling people anti-vaxxers. I just think because it's the same as people with religion and all that stuff. We see someone that is, you know, the absolute nut religion, but then you've got my son who goes to church every Sunday because he just believes in what he believes in. it's very honest, it's very real, and I love seeing that because we're not religious at all. He's very grounded with it, and but you know, we can't tar everyone with the one brush, and I think that's what happens with mental health, with bipolar and any of those disorders. Everyone gets tarred with these brushes because you have somebody that flips out about something, and we go, you're all anti-vaxxers, or you're all anti-maskers, or you're all got bipolar, or whatever. And I think compassion is something that is a major thing that we've lost, and we need to regain it. And what do you think, Bill?
No, I agree, mate. I agree. I think, and going back to the whole, someone once said to me, seek to understand before making assumptions. Like, someone might be having a bad, you don't know what that person's gone through. Like, and like you guys said, like, just, you know, if it's, if you think it's not going to backfire, you know, if someone's so agitated, you might just want to let them go, you know, but instead of jumping on the bandwagon and actually, you know, having a go at someone, like, ask them compassionately, like, are you okay? Like, you know, just go take, like Emily said, take my spot in the line. Like, if it's gonna help you out, go through it. Like, but you know, just wind it back and seek to understand before making assumptions, because that's amazing. You know, that was such a strong quote someone told me, and because I, being a redhead, I'm known to get a bit fiery, but I get, you know, sometimes just before I get fiery, I go, no, like, just, you know, I'll get through the light eventually. Might not be this go. Cole Finley's holding up the line, but that's okay. You know, I'll get through on the next one. It's not going to.
I've always wondered before we go on the show. You're bright red, but you're going woosa. Woosa.
You're not supposed to tell anybody that, mate.
All right, so we can keep going on and on and on, and we are getting some amazing messages saying this is a fantastic and very informative show today, and I'm really proud of that, because this is what Coffee and Conversation is about creating conversations about different lifestyles and different people in those lifestyles living and dealing with mental health related issues. And I'm just going to really quickly track through the rest of the list that your mum had put down there. Realizing what triggers are and how to avoid them, how to react to those triggers, having someone you can talk to and trust, and you know, are these something that is just a list that you guys have up in? Is this a mental list, or is it on a whiteboard in the kitchen?
It's more of a mental list at this point, but it was
on the fridge.
It was on the fridge. So every time you go and get a drink of juice or a beer or something, it was right there in front of you, and you saw it, and you know, you remembered it.
Don't take Dad's last beer.
No, I learned that pretty good. But yeah, it's one of those things that now it's just mental, and
just so drilled into your head that it's just there.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I wish it'd be great if it was in everyone's head. You know, that's I guess that's what we're trying to create, is everyone to have that embedded into their DNA. So
look, so you know, every day we're dealing what we're doing. For me, the last week, I don't realize, and none of us do when we're dealing with what we deal with every day with depression and anxiety and stuff like that, but our partners do. And I was quite blown out at the relief in Nell when I went away to do last week's festival and come home, and she gives me this big hug, and she's just gone, I'm so happy that, you know, you're back. Like, and because I know there was days where I just went, I didn't want to get out of bed. I just hated where we're at, but you roll on. And until that moment that your partner or someone close to you actually says, you're in a dark place, you know, it made me just, I don't know, just explode with so much happiness, and to know that, I you know, music is who I am. Is that the same with you guys? Like, you're now doing gigs and you're getting things happening. You know, spent yesterday rehearsing with Tate, who is the lead singer of Beyond Sibby Creek. Let's talk about Beyond Sibby Creek. Is this something that you guys, is this an outlet for you guys to the relief, like I'm trying to explain with what?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so music and gigging and just
Just being with each other.
Yeah, being with the band, whether it be we're going on a camping trip for the weekend, or we're rehearsing for the
Or we're
weekend,
having dinner.
or we're stuck in a car for 6 hours with each other when we go down to Moree. That was our first kind of trip that long in a car together, and it was a bloody learning experience, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it is an outlet for us. It was one of those things, and it still is one of those things where you go, oh, Saturday's here, we've got a rehearsal with the boys. That's cool.
It's something to look forward to if you're having a bad week.
Yeah, you just go, it's all good. Or we've got a gig Saturday night or something
We
like
just got to
that.
get to that Saturday, and we're going to be good. But
Yeah,
that's going to be a boost of happiness that week.
Absolutely. No, that's great. I feel the same. I was just saying to Cole before we jumped on, gigs are starting to get booked in. Like I used to look at my calendar every Monday and like you guys go, yes, I got this wedding Saturday, gig Friday night, this show Sunday, or, but then, the last 12 months, it's just, I haven't even looked at my calendar because there are no gigs. So, but now they're starting to roll in. Like it's getting, definitely, I'm getting excited. It's good. And it is a release. Yeah, it is, for me, playing music, it's, music's always been very important for me. But just this last 12 months is really reiterated that, I don't think I could ever stop playing music, because it really is a part of who I am and what I do. And I'm sure it is for you guys too.
Through COVID, I actually realised I was sitting there going, well, I can't see my life without music. And even before COVID, now still, I just can't see my life going differently, like if I, wasn't into music. It's weird. I can't see my childhood without, Tuesday afternoon guitar lessons, or, Thursday Arvo band practice or stuff like that. Like, it's just a part of who we are, and it's what we do.
That's great. That's good.
Which is exciting that I invited you guys to be a part and actually feature. So you guys are the feature storyline to my video clip Above the Blue. It was your first ever video clip that you've worked on. You were portraying two young people that are dealing with mental health issues. And at the end of the video clip, we come out of it at the end because of our friends and the people that are surrounding us, which is how we wanted to portray it as the producers of the clip, and me as an artist is why I wrote the song Getting Above the Blue. How did you guys, and you've only just viewed the rough version of it, which is about to be released this week, but from shooting it that day, did the storyline come through to you, or did it come through when you're seeing the first rough edit?
Well, it came through when you gave me the call about it, really. I saw it. I saw it how you filmed it. Like, it was one of those things. Even the first time I heard the song, it brought a tear to my eye, and realised that shit, there are people out there going through it as well, and maybe it is time that I can educate other people on it. And then, when you called me about the clip and wanted us to be in it, it was one of those things where it was like, all right, cool, well, let's do it then. What have we got to lose?
Sorry, thanks.
I just found a button that said I can actually make you guys bigger.
I noticed that.
Oh dear.
We shot the last scenes today, and I'm really excited about the video clip. I think it's something that's gonna. I think it's really selling that story. I've just got to say it's hard for the partners to work through these times. It's great when you see a change and feel that you have your partners back. Keith and Marilyn, that is so true. Michael, as I said before, is my nephew, that he has PTSD, likes to get on his dirt bike and have a release. That's you, Billy.
That's me too. Yeah.
You put a video up there the other day of you on the motorbike in slow motion, I presume.
Good on you, mate. I thought I was going really good.
Well,
that is my other. While you guys are up swimming around and drinking cocktails at Savannah Festival, I was sweating it out in the bush on the bike. But that's my other release. Yeah. So I can relate to that one.
We are coming to the end of the show. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. So thank you so much, Kaleb. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing your story. We'll get you back on the show later in the year. Let's get a catch up and see how you guys are going with
Might have
yourself.
to bring the other two with us, hey?
I would love to have the whole band. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll keep an eye out. So folks, keep an eye out online for Beyond Sippy Creek. Get behind them, support them. They're a young band that have pretty much, is it 5% or 10% of your merch sales goes to the Veterans Retreat?
10%. So from our t-shirts to hats, stickers, cattle tags, anything. Stubby coolers.
I noticed you're wearing the same hat, mate.
Yeah, I noticed that, mate.
Did you pinch that off my So Billy, do you know where they are? They are.
What?
Can you tell where they are?
Yeah.
The location. So
I know where they are.
They're in Studio B. They're in Studio B of the Coffee and Conversation studio.
Just grab that hat on the way out.
I think he's pinched the hat off my thing. He's a good friend of ours, trucking company's hat. So back to what that you guys donate 10% of your merchandise to Veterans Retreat, which is a farm that this is where we first worked together on a festival there, which is a farm that veterans can go to as families and work on these mental health issues and PTSD and all of this stuff around farm animals and just farming life, which is a fantastic thing up near Gympie. Check it out, folks. I'll hopefully put up a post, which is the Veterans Retreat up in Gympie. And you also do a lot of shows. You donate your time to a lot of these charities and stuff like that, yeah?
We've played up at Veterans Retreat 2, 3 or 4 times, I think, since they've opened. Kylie and Kate up there, they love us to bits. So we always love heading up there. We played their Christmas party and we played their first Beat the Retreat with our good mates, the Tony Q Band.
Awesome.
And
too.
yeah, he's also a veteran, so we jump behind him and support him as much as we can when he's got new music out or whatever. But
he was up at Savannah too, Billy, just to let you know.
Copy. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. I'll just keep riding my bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try and support those guys as much as we can. So when we first started getting merch done, we thought, well, let's give back to them because they've done so much for us.
And they do so much for the
veterans community, first responders as well. They're more than welcome up there.
Mm-hmm.
They we give them 10% of whatever we make off our merch sales. So we'd really appreciate it, guys, if you went and bought a t-shirt or a hat or a stubby cooler.
I will be. Don't you worry.
Thanks, Billy.
I'll be going straight on there after here.
Well, you don't buy mine.
No, you just give it to me.
Cold is overpriced. Don't buy that.
Overpriced, yeah.
Well, the guys from Outlaw Clothing are watching right now. And on that note, I being the guy that has control over you being on the show, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, honestly.
No worries,
thank you so
mate.
much for being a part of the show. You hang about, Billy, but we'll say goodbye to Kaleb and Emily.
Emily, good on you.
Beyond Sippy Creek, folks, get on their social medias and share, like, love, and we'll catch you guys on the road. Here is what they did. The song Freight Line. This is an older clip. We'll be working on them getting out something new very soon. But here's an older clip. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Don't you understand? She's got the power, this working man. I'm trucking hard as trucking can. Come on, straight line, don't you understand? There's a woman waiting patiently in her sweet arms where I really won't be. Get on it, red line. Get on it, red line.
How good are
They are great, mate. And as I said, this is that's an older clip, so they're getting better and better every time I see them. So As I said before, openarms.gov.au is where you can reach out for ex-service or service members to and their families to go and find some help or to talk and all that sort of stuff. How you going, Billy?
I'm good, mate. That was great. Those guys are awesome. I can't wait to go check out their stuff, and I want to see them live now.
They are good live. They are very good live.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the plan for you, mate? Back to so Monday. So tomorrow, like we're down here, up here in Queensland, we're here in the Freedom Day. It's not so much a Freedom Day; it's just a relaxation of restrictions. Is that right?
Yeah, just there's certain things you can and can't do. Well, at the moment, you can't go further than 5 kilometres from your local government area, well, your front door, basically. So all that's being lifted. But yeah, so you can kind of go anywhere. Or we can't go to regional New South Wales because they've got some stuff going on out there. But yeah, I'll be able to go see my mum. She's over on the northern beaches, and be able to take the kids up there. She hasn't seen the kids for over like 6 months or whatever it's been. So she's busting to see the kids, and excited to go see her and catch up. It is going to be interesting, but I'm very determined to find out whether I can get up to QLD with you guys and do a couple of these shows. So Mondays there's lots that will be happening. So, and I guess traffic will be back too. So yeah, I'll be calling it. I'll be calling it tomorrow as we always chat in the mornings, mate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Some silly hour.
While you're stuck in traffic. Well, thanks so much for your time, Billy. I know Sundays are your days with the family and all that stuff. So big hugs to Stacey and the kids for letting me take you up for an hour.
No problem,
look forward to doing this again in a month's time.
Yeah.
We've got some great guests lined up for the show. I'll once again, I won't tell you about it until the day before, so you've got no time to plan.
An hour before.
Oh, mate, it's crazy. But hopefully,
it sure is. No.
I'm hoping that we can do this show live from the secret festival that I'm booked on in November that I'm not allowed to announce that I'm on. And I'll probably get an email tomorrow saying, sorry, mate, we canned you now because you've it's always the way. But let's hope that we can do the show live from that secret festival here in Queensland. You take care, my friend. Love you to bits.
Carl.
And
good on you, man. Love you too, man.
Stay strong, stay safe. Everyone out there, thanks so much for everyone that viewed the show today. Please share, go onto our social media, Coffee and Conversations. Like, follow, share, let people know about the conversations that we're creating, because it's up to you guys to get it out to the people and get these messages across. And we need to talk about mental health more and make it a conversation around the dinner table. This is something that everyone can do this week. Sit down as a family and ask how you're all doing and how your days are. Post some pictures on our social media. Let us know what you're doing. Ask us about subjects we can talk about. If there's something that you want us to talk about, get on social media and let us know. But again, like and follow, and let's get that conversation started. Good on you, Billy. You take care, brother.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
No worries, mate. See you, champ.
See ya.
Well, money can buy you anything, even a house, oh, lots of great things, even status in society, measured by the wedding ring she wears. There's something that money can't buy. Oh, Lord, it comes from deep inside. Yeah, man, it makes me feel alive. Lord, I feel alive. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich with friends. I'm gonna live my life until the end. I'm rich, well, I'm rich like a king. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich with friends. That big old house you're living in, well, Will that fancy car you drive around in, my friend? Oh, what's it worth when you're all alone? In that house on a hill you would call your home. There's something that money can't buy. Oh Lord, it comes from deep inside. Yeah, man, it makes me feel alive. Lord, I feel alive. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich with friends. I'm gonna live my life until the end. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich like a king. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich with friends. Oh, na 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 na. There's something that money can't buy. Oh Lord, it comes from deep inside. Yeah, man, it makes me feel alive. Lord, I feel alive. Because I'm rich, well, I'm rich with friends. I'm gonna live my life until the end. Because I'm rich with friends. Because I'm rich with friends. Na 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 na. No diamond rings, no fancy car, no house upon that hill. Just no campfire with my friends. Well, that's all that I need, yeah. 'Cause I'm rich with friends. Na na na.